let's look at some myths people may believe about country living. Number 1, country living is not for the end times. What I mean by this is there are many people who believe in the country living message who are waiting until a national Sunday law to then leave the cities and run to the country. In this view, it is at the end times, the mark of the beast crisis, that we are to begin country living. This is not correct. Let's ask ourselves, what location did God choose as a home for our parents, Adam and Eve? A garden. God has always wanted his children amidst nature. Country living is far more than an end-time message. Number 2, country living is not hiding. Some believe that since a great crisis will come and the world will be against God's people, then we must find the most secluded, faraway, hidden spot so that we won't be found. Some are even careful about who they allow to visit their country homes in case they may later on betray them and reveal their location. While country living does mean seeking out a quiet, private property amidst nature, hiding and isolation has no part in it. In reality, we're supposed to invite others to visit our homes so they can experience country living and its benefits. Number 3, country living is not the end goal. You've moved to the country, away from the temptations of city life. Everything is now perfect. So it's only a matter of time before Christ comes again to take you home. No, you've only just begun. Now it's time to commune with God, to learn from nature, to witness, to grow daily in sanctification. Number 4, country living is not simply having property in the country. It's very possible to be a city boy while living in a country home. If I'm still watching the world's movies and music, playing the video games, staying on top of the fashion trends, and generally still running the rat race with very little time for God, I simply just change my location and nothing else. As far as my mind is concerned, I'm still in the city. God wants all of us, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Number 5, country living is not living in the country, but still being connected to the grid. What I mean is your electricity, water, heating, and food are all provided by companies. Now, at the start of one's country living journey, this is perfectly fine. However, we should all have a goal that down the line, whether months later or even years later, we should provide for all our needs ourselves, because the time will come when we won't be able to pay for these services. Number 6, country living is not a rushed or sudden decision. You decide to just up and move to the country with no preparation and leave it to God to work out the details. This is not correct. While it may seem like this is faith in action, God calls us to count the cost, to wait for Him to open the doors, and then to move as He leads. Moving without God's clear instruction is presumption, and it often ends in great loss. 7, country living is not having a perfect plan. While some will move without proper consideration, some refuse to move until every last detail is accounted for. The house must be already purchased, a country occupation secured, outstanding bills all paid off, everyone is in good health, and no obstacles in sight. Then they will move to the country. While God can provide this for most people, He will provide some of what we need. Then, as we step out in faith, over time, He will reveal the other provisions He has for us. 8, country living is not hiring workers to do all the labor, while you just reap the benefits. Even if one has the funds to hire gardeners, cooks, and maintenance men, the full rewards of country living will not be received because the blessings are tied to our personal efforts. It is okay to hire people to assist, but we should find out which area we can personally work with our hands. 9. Country living is not colonizing in large groups. God's desire is for outposts to be established throughout the world. We are not being called to leave the cities to create new Adventist towns. Gathering too many families in one area can lead to putting our trust in numbers and compiled resources instead of trusting in God. 10. Country living is not a uniform plan for everyone. There is not a cookie-cutter blueprint for country living. Some may own 40 acres, others may own just 2. One may find land with a home already built with fruit-producing trees and garden area already in place. Another may purchase undeveloped land. One may buy their property with cash. Another may get a mortgage. You might only be able to rent or to be a caretaker for someone else's property. You may be a half hour away from a city or 4 hours away. What matters is being obedient to God's specific guidance for your situation. Number 11. Country living is not a retirement plan. God is not calling us to live in the cities all our working years, and then when it's time to retire, we get a quiet country home to spend our sunset years. There are physical, mental, and spiritual lessons to be gained in the country, and the sooner we begin, the better. Number 12. Country living is not just for myself. There may be some whose first introduction to country living will be visiting your home, and there will be many who will never be able to purchase their own country home, but will depend on the brotherly love of others to welcome them onto their property. When thinking about country living, we need to keep these ones in mind. Number 13. Country living is not easy. If you think moving to the country means no stress, taking it easy, watching beautiful sunsets while relaxing in your hammock, think again. Country living is hard work. There will be many long and tiring days of physical labor. There will be many obstacles to overcome. Country living will tax you, but always for your benefit. 14. Country living is not freedom from temptation. While being amidst nature will greatly aid our communion with God, Satan does not only reside in the cities. Temptation will still be very much present in the country. And when we step out in faith to obey God, Satan then intensifies his attacks. Just remember that God is a present help in trouble. Number 15. Country living does not start when you get to the country. There is much preparation mentally, physically, and spiritually that needs to be made before ever setting foot on your country property. There are many things to learn and unlearn. Even skills such as gardening and home maintenance you can start learning in the city while searching for your country home. And there you have it, some of the myths people hold in regard to country living.
To be aware of new videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to the Preparing for the Time of Trouble channel. For more free videos and downloadable audio podcasts, as well as handouts, go to www.preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com. Topic categories include recordings of live seminar presentations, country living, sustainable gardening, homestead remedies, how to be self-sufficient when the grid goes down, wild edible and medicinal plants, hydrotherapy, and end-time Bible prophecies. To take advantage of these free resources, go to preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com.